So it's I mean, a lot of Christian institutions have a lot to to answer for, in that they haven't provided much of a rearguard action to this, and a lot of them have just surrendered because it's the easier thing to do. But it's it's the same thing. It's just easier to go along with the crowd.
I think we've almost gone back to the era of the early church, Laura. I think I think lots of people I know are sort of turning to God, but they're not finding God in the established church.
Yeah.
Because the established church isn't interested in God anymore. You get exceptions, you get little outposts, but generally, the church has failed us. The fact that the church hasn't said the church should have said, we are keeping the house of God open throughout this pandemic. We're going to unlock all the churches. We're going to hold services, and if you don't want to wear a mask, you don't have to. We're going to carry on because that's our job. And they haven't been doing that. They haven't been but generally, do you not think that the ancients were obsessed about this? And I'm sure they were right. They associated eras when the gods were dishonored with periods of cultural decline and disaster and chaos. And I think we're living through such times now that the absence of God, the decline of Christianity, has the melancholy, long withdrawing roar, has led to this world in which people have substituted their own fake religions as sort of Gaia worship and secular religions.
COVIDism.
COVID is.
It is a religion, and this is what they're going to worship, but they're really worshipping themselves and their own preciousness and their own precious health. I mean, you should take care of your health and things. That's absolutely a requirement, but you don't ask, you don't trash your entire country for it, especially when it's essentially it's a bad flu. No, it's complete COVIDism. I mean, it's just big government. They just love big government. I love Big Brother. Big Brother will keep me safe in my safe house. And we'll just wait here until. Oh yeah. So while we're talking about safe, so it is all linked. It is all linked. So I watched one of the few things. I watched the Ripper documentary on Netflix. Don't know if you saw it. Mm-hmm. So the documentary on the Yorkshire Ripper, not Jack Ripper.
Oh, well,
it's a bit PC here and there, but it's good overall. And then they covered, the Reclaim the Night marches. Okay. Because the police officers, when things were getting really bad, the police officers obviously told all the women, said, right, to be safe, you just actually have to stay at home. You just can't go out at night. Right. So the women, I think, understandably were like, no, why don't you make the streets safer? Right. So this was don't go out at night, save the police. Right. Save lives. This was the original. Don't lock yourself down, save your lives, save the police. Now, obviously, the logical thing then was when feminists, they were right on this, were like, no, we've really fought actually to go out and go to the pub and stuff. We're not going to be locking ourselves down. You make the street safe. So they went out on a march and they said, we're reclaiming the night. And why don't you curfew the men? Don't be curfewing us, right? Don't curfew the men and stuff. And I was thinking, man, fair dues to those radical feminists. They're all young, obviously. I reckon a lot of them now but they wouldn't hide from a knife-wielding murderous maniac. A lot of them now will be hiding in their houses from a bad flu. Those exact same women 30 years ago, when they were 19, they took to the streets and refused essentially to be locked down. And that was just at night. They refused to be locked down. No, I'm not hiding from the hammer-wielding maniacs. Are right now sitting at home ordering in their Waitrose because the big bad flu is out there. Do
you know I think the diabolical genius of the COVID religion, this is the thing that's given it its power. And it's no coincidence that SAGE mostly comprises behavioral scientists rather than actual scientists. And it's this. The way they have embedded in this religion this clause of sort of pathological altruism, whereby you're not you're not going through these rituals for yourself. It's not for you.
Yeah.
It's for the NHS.
Yeah.
And it's to protect your elderly
granny.
relative, your granny, whatever. And everyone, all the bedwetters, they always quote. I've heard it throughout Christmas. You know,
no,
we
you're
can't.
right.
I want to go to this Boxing Day lunch, but I can't because my cleaning lady or my mother or my so and so has these underlying conditions, and then they'll dwell on the underlying conditions, and they'll talk about the cancer or whatever. Well, lots of people have got underlying conditions. We got on with life before. And suddenly it's okay. You're one of the good guys because you're wearing a mask to protect the NHS and protect other people, and therefore you can do what you like. You're bulletproof. You're morally bulletproof.
Yeah. No, it is absolute genius. You're right. It's complete genius. It's an invisible virus, so you can't see it, but yet it makes everybody else enemies. It can change, right? It can change all the time. So it's a constant war. We'll be doing this, forever, basically. And
well, I'd say what it
people
knows,
say, you can be reckless. Can be reckless with your own life, but what about all the other people? And then they're still pushing this asymptomatic thing, which has been completely debunked by the British Medical Journal. If you feel fine, you are not a carrier. And they keep, even if you're well, act like you're sick. As I said before, no, that is a form of, as I said, Munchausen disease by proxy. If you're well, you're well. If you're well, you're well. If you're not well, that's different. But and now, so even if you're well, you still have to stay at home because, you could be a secret carrier and infect other people. No, it's complete genius. It is literally, it's foolproof. It's a foolproof plan. I don't know who thought of it. It's genius.
It's so clever that it can do things like when it knows that the government needs justification to extend the lockdowns or cancel Christmas, whatever. What it does is it cunningly mutates so that it becomes 70% more infectious. It mutates, doesn't it? It becomes a mutant. Mutant virus.
Well, what they're saying is you're the mutant. Really, you're the mutant. So it's making the general populace both sick and now mutants. I mean, look, it's sick. The people behind this, it is demonic. The people behind this are completely sick. I just, you don't know how long it's going to go on for. No, it's complete genius. It's so flexible. It can come up and down when it wants to. But so they managed. I wonder. So they managed to say it's more transmissible, but it's not more fatal. In which case you'd still be saying, so what? Okay, so we'll just get herd immunity quicker. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Well, no, but don't forget the WHO has actually redefined herd immunity, so it doesn't actually exist anymore. You don't get only by vaccine.
Yeah.
But